Okay, my brother's father-in-law is white, and the woman he married to is his daughter. She white and Latino, so basically the father has some kind of terminal cancer, and basically they took him from his home, I believe in Florida, and brought him out to Nevada, to live out his final days. He was on hospice, and so basically they was gonna put him in a old folks home. And my mother said that basically if my brother did that, then she wouldn't have nothing to do with him anymore. That you should take care of her father. They should take care of him. But his wife is very neglectful. She ain't taking care of shit. She didn't even take care of her own kids. So anyway, this man, white man, he has one daughter and one son. The daughter is an atheist, which is my brother's wife. And then the son is a flaming homosexual. And then he was some military man, and basically I guess he married some woman from overseas, and that's how that went. Anyway, so they get him down here. I guess my brother said, he don't want my mother to cut him off, so they put him in some house, and basically they all agreed to just go in there and check in on him. So they was going in there checking in on him. The daughter had sold his cars, so he restored old cars. She sold them all for the money, didn't get that man a dime, and then basically didn't really visit her own father. This is an atheist, no heart, something is wrong. And this is my brother. He carries the scriptures with him, but he don't open it up and read it. You know what I mean? He got it in his car, he got it over his head in his bed somewhere for protection, but he don't read the book, and then he don't really pray unless his business is doing bad. Anyway, he receives a call from the guy one day, because this guy had been having strokes and seizures and all that kind of stuff. Like I said, they sent him home to die. And basically he was having some kind of seizure or stroke or something like that. And he called my brother. How, I don't know, but I know God had something to do with this. Since my brother don't pray and he don't read, he don't do anything, all he's doing is living for money and for Gentiles. He said, he called my brother and he said something is like terminally wrong. I need you to get down there and help me out, man. And my brother called my mother because he lazy as all shit, and he don't want to deal with it. So he asked my mother, could you go down there and look in on him? And then my mother was getting up to go do it. I don't know why she would, but she just did, because she has a heart and he don't. And basically he said something touched his spirit and said, if you don't get down there right now, something real bad is going to happen to that man. And so my brother said, never mind, I got it, I'm going down there right now. Something is telling me to get down there. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to go see what this is all about. So he went over to the guy's house, opened up the door and stuff, and the man is sitting there. I don't know if he was in his bed or where he was at, but he was having some kind of seizure or stroke or something. His eyes were rolling back, it was bad. And so my brother was over there. I don't know if he was dialing 911 and stuff like that, because the guy ended up at the hospital. The guy opened up his eyes or whatever and looked up at my brother and said, grab my legs, grab my legs. And I was like, what? He said, grab my legs, hold me. And he's like, huh? He's like, they got me, man, they got me. He's like, who got you? He said, the angels of death, they got me, man, and they pulling me out of my body, man. Please, George, grab my legs, hold them tight, man. Don't let them get me, And my brother said he went over there and grabbed his legs, and he got this man's legs, and he like said, hold them tight, George, don't let them go, they got me, they got me, don't let them get me, and he's like, who got you? The angels of death, they got me, man, don't let them pull me. And then he was on no resuscitation by his own will, like, if I die, don't let anybody resuscitate me. But then when the angels got him, he said, when I get to the hospital, George, if I can make it, man, tell them to resuscitate me, don't let them get me. Because supposedly when the angels catch the sinner, they get beat, by the angels. Their souls get ripped out of their body. It's like a painful thing for them. Anyway, and the sinners always have a punishment. So, my brother's in there crying, holding this guy's legs, and guess dialing 911, and paramedics get there and haul this guy off, right? My wife had a dream that, somebody had a funeral, right? Like a couple of days before. And I was like, hope nobody died, And when they hauled this guy off, some spirit or something came to me and said he dead at 3 o'clock. That's exactly how I said it, but more like it said he died at 3. And so I said, okay, I'm just gonna verify this with my family. So I said, they just took Tammy's daddy to the hospital, and like, okay, yeah. And he's like, well, some just told me he died at 3 o'clock, and that was peculiar. And they said, oh, that's sad, And so anyway, the next day, my mother called me and said he died at 3 o'clock. He died at 3 o'clock. And I was like, wow, I didn't tell her to tell me that, but the whole thing is weird. And I was like, my brother should have learned a lesson from it. Like, why didn't you, if you see this man is scared for his life because the angels of death is coming for his ass, and you cocky as all shit, you know what I mean? You don't want to bow down and pray to God Most High or anything. Why didn't you learn a lesson from that? And then his atheist wife who don't believe in a God. Obviously the father didn't believe in a God either. And how come she didn't learn a lesson from that? Here you got a man that's not really believing in a God and said, don't resuscitate me, and he gonna go the whole atheist route. Why didn't you learn the lesson when he said the angels of death got him? It's just like Anton LaVey, the one who wrote the Satanic Bible. During death, he said, "Oh shit, something is wrong. Something is wrong. Ain't the way it's supposed to be. Something is wrong." Like they was torturing his ass, man. The angels were, and people don't think the angels is gonna be violent. The angels are gonna be violent to sinners. The meteorites is going to be violent to sinners. The earth and the world and sinners, the Gentiles, are going to be violent to other Gentiles. This is written. And so, this bitch, his wife said, hey, he was just delusional. If your daddy don't believe in no God and all of a sudden the angels of death got him, and that's exactly what he said, the angels of death, he must have asked them who they were, And I guess they have some appearance like men or something. But, he said they got him. And basically they got him the following day he was dead. Let's wrap the news. Y'all tell me what y'all think.